right, let me walk around. And that'll cut all this part out. All right. Well, hi.
Hi.
Hi. It is good to see you guys. I'm so glad that we're getting back together this time to talk about the way again. I have to tell you how much it's been just a joy to share the way with you guys. And last week we had this really exciting Sunday that was Take a Step Sunday. And if you remember, we all committed, or most of us did anyway, to take a step on the way. And we committed to look at and read through the chart, and we committed to pray and to listen to God and to begin to see direction for what God would want us to do, taking a step on the way. So I thought we could get together and we could have a conversation about how that's going and what you're doing. So tell me, what does it mean to you guys to take a step on the way?
I feel like in my cases, I need to strengthen my relationship with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had one, but it just needs to get better and better.
Right.
That to me is just taking that step.
Right. Yeah. The way is about deepening a relationship with Christ. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else?
I think for me it was something new, something that I haven't been doing.
Mm-hmm.
That I need to step out and do, that's new to me.
Right. Sometimes we just get comfortable in what we're doing in our faith, and we need to, I don't know, think about, maybe I need to be a little less comfortable and try something that's different. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Well, you know, as you've been thinking about that, how have you determined what step you're going to take? Or if you haven't decided what step, how are you working on trying to figure that? What are you doing?
Well, I had to go through each one of the phases first to see exactly where I was in each step before I could see where I needed to grow or where I needed to get closer or whatever to Christ. And so that's what I did. I saw where I was myself in each one of these before I made a decision, and then prayed about it, and that's how I decided what I was going to do.
And so how was that for you, Phyllis, to read through that chart and kind of begin to decide where you might be in each area?
Well, it made me realize I wasn't all over here on the right side, but I wasn't all over here in seeking Christ.
Okay.
So it just made me kind of go through all of them and see that I was in this place on one and this place on another as I was making my decision on what I was going to do.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else?
Yeah, something I did that helped me was I took notes as I thought about where I stood, and that kind of helped me bring it to the front of, oh, okay, instead of just, well, I'm here and I'm here and I'm here.
Oh,
and so
awesome.
Making notes on this was very helpful to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's your school teacher.
Yeah, it's a school teacher, right? It is. But that works.
Yeah.
It works. Exactly. It does.
But I also looked at it and did the same thing that you did and saw where I was, where I seemed to fall on each of the different ones. And then began, because we have been working on this, I think it's been working a longer time because I feel nudges. And so there have been nudges of different things that have happened in the last couple of weeks that made me decide on which one.
So something real subtle, you all of a sudden like were tuned into, gosh, that nudge probably is really from God trying to talk to me about what I'm doing, and so you were really hunting for that stuff, or at least alert for it.
And it was that I kept feeling the nudge, and when I got this and looked it over, I realized, oh, that's what I've been thinking about.
Awesome.
I think I had a similar thing. I was praying about it, thinking about it, and a particular topic kept coming up in several different directions at different times.
Yeah.
Really good thing. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So has anybody like begun to think about, I know what my step looks like, or I know what area or how I'm going to do that? Do you have some ideas that way about how you want to do that? Anybody?
I kind of, along those same lines, taking something a step further than you already do, because I do devotionals, but I've been reading a book lately. It's the book from our book club, and Brother Andrew is the author, and it's The God Smuggler. And his active prayer life was so impressive to me, and throughout the book, you know, answered prayer, they just kept on coming. And he talked about at the very end, he brought it back to today's technology and how that takes us away from being intent and just sitting there and waiting patiently for answers from the Lord.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, that's just, you've got to just get quiet and listen. And I thought, okay, I need to take my devotional time a step further and really spend quiet time and not just like, you know, write down notes on my phone or say, okay, I'm gonna get this email and then I'll come back to it. But he was so adamant about how it's important for us to listen to the Lord. And I just, that resonated with me, and I know that he heard from the Lord so many times in what he did as a missionary and what he did.
So for you then, not only was it kind of deciding that I need to take a step in spiritual practices and prayer and like really deepen it, but part of what you recognized then was what was blocking you, what was something that was causing you to not be able to go as deep. So maybe thinking about taking a step is also looking at those barriers that are in our lives and removing barriers, and that could be taking a step then, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, one thing that I thought as I was reading this under community and fellowship hospitality says seeking to build relationships with both church and unchurched. But I kind of reworded how I thought that I would be taking my step, and that was more of a balancing my relationship with the churched and the unchurched. I seem to be more on the side of the churched right now versus the unchurched. And so what I had decided to do, and I started last night, was that the epiphany that we do, the boys ministry that we do, has a reunion where after you have been on the epiphany weekend, this furthers them and continues them in the grace and the love of God. And it takes volunteers and us doing that to be able to do that. And so I decided that instead of just doing the epiphany, I needed to follow up on it with those unchurched kids.
Right.
And so that's what I decided to do as my step in doing something.
And part of that was then deciding that I needed to be balanced.
Exactly.
And kind of find some balance.
More of the
Awesome.
churched and unchurched.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing. It's good to hear what other people are doing. I hope that what we'll do is keep checking in with each other and holding each other accountable as we make decisions, and maybe we can all commit to pray for each other together as we continue to take a step on the way.
That would be good.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.